One. Greetings, my friends. Hope you are doing well. Again, raise your hand if you can hear me okay. If it's loud and clear, that's what I want to know. If you can hear me all right. The vast majority say it's okay. Okay, it's a lot better. Hey, Payman, Lynn, we know that. Lynn, good to see you. Andrea, Chip, Eric, Karen. On and on we go. Well, here's what we're going to do in a very tight nutshell. I want to share with you the Global Resorts lifestyle design, how you can really redesign your life through the Global Resorts Network, both as a member and as an affiliate. And in a nutshell, here's what I want to share. What you are looking at on the screen is the Wyndham Branson at the Meadows. Okay, this is a really sweet place. They call Branson the country's Disneyland, country down-home version of Disneyland. Super popular place, especially for people in the Midwest. And if you look at this, approximately 5 weeks of ownership comes in at $93,950, and the annual dues and taxes and upkeep, maintenance to keep flat screen TVs in there and to keep the kitchen modern and to keep the pool upkeep and the croquet field and the volleyball court and the tennis court and the other pools and the water slides and the grounds and the slides and the barbecue pits and the whole thing. To own there is $93,950 for 5 weeks of membership, and you're getting $3,660 a year, which will continue to escalate. So basically, here's how they sell that in an ultra tight nutshell. Raise your hand if everybody sees the pricing clearly, what's going on. That's 5 weeks of usage. And what they say here is, if you look close, it says travel to any Wyndham location. So what happens is you can interchange these weeks, so you don't have to spend all 5 weeks there at the Wyndham. But how the whole timeshare, now Global Resorts is not timeshare, but how timeshare gets sold is Men's Health did a recent survey asking men in particular, what do you want? What do you want? Give us the 4 things you want more than anything. And one of them was a fancy car. One of them was to retire early. One of them was to pay for their kids' education. And one of them was to own a vacation home. And here's the gist of it. I don't think they want a vacation home, because let me show you just an example of what a cheap, I'm talking cheap vacation home. I picked this up. This is in Orlando, Florida. They don't give quite the precise address, but it's within 45 minutes of Disney. It's within 45 minutes from the ocean. So it's pretty primo type vacation house location, you could say. Well, here's the short story. This thing is $110,000. Do people really want the 2-bedroom, 2-bath vacation home with the maintenance fees, and then when they're not there, they only get to use it 8 to 10 weeks per year, maybe 10 weeks if they get a lot of time? Do people really want a vacation home? I'm not sure they do. I have friends that own lake homes, and what they tell me is they only get to the lake for 2 to 3 months out of the year on the weekends, and when they show up, they spend the whole first day doing lawn work and house repair, roofing, windows, lawn care. I don't think people really want a vacation house. What they want is to take a vacation in something like a house with a full kitchen, with a living room, with a master bathroom, a master bedroom with its own bathroom, and the kids can be in their own space. Raise your hand if you would maybe agree. What people really probably don't ultimately want is a vacation house. They probably want a vacation, and they want to vacation in something like a house, not a hotel, because a hotel is a nightmare. I mean, it's not a nightmare, but it's not idyllic for true rest and relaxation, especially if you're going to spend several nights at it. So what the whole timeshare industry was born out of is they were basically said to the population, and this is a $5 billion industry. This is not like a sneeze industry. People spend an average of $16,000 per week of ownership. That's the standard rate of that that's just in America. That's what they pay. But the big sell is, look, you don't want to just be trapped at your one Orlando condo. This is the only, I just obviously Googled this right before this just as an example, but you probably don't want to be trapped and forced to go there all the time. What a timeshare does is it gives you the option. Gives you the option to spend, you want to spend a week at the Wyndham Branson in the summer? Go for it. You want to spend a week in Hawaii? Go for it. You want to spend another week in Cancun? Go for it. And so what they do is they say, listen, you're going to have these 2-bedroom condos that with your maintenance fees that you're paying and annual dues, you're going to be able to show up. The grounds are going to be epic. The game rooms, the community centers, the pools, the slides, the flat screen TVs, all of it's going to be taken care of with your update, with your annual dues. And then once you pay off $93,000, it's like you have a mini vacation home waiting for you, 5 weeks worth, in the best real estate all over the world. Okay, raise your hand if that just kind of, if I've painted what that picture is. That's the $5 billion that's the $5 billion in US dollars that's spent on timeshare. So follow this now. So remember this Wyndham Branson at the Meadows, because if you look a little bit tighter, what 1 week is going for is $18,500. This is $2,000 above the typical 1 week. So what people do and how they sell these things is exactly how I told you. They say, here's the gist of it. You probably want to feel like you have a little condo that you can zip over to Hawaii, you can zip down to Aruba, you can hike the Mayan pyramids in Cancun. You want to go golf in Arizona in the dead of summer, you want to zip down and watch the whales off the Baja Peninsula. Hey, we're going to have condos outfitted, ready for you everywhere. You don't want to spend $150,000 on a vacation home. Let's get you, I don't know, 5 weeks for $90,000 and it's like you got a condo. And then they say, well, maybe, I don't know if you can vacation 5 weeks. No, we can't. Well, how about 2 weeks? Well, we could probably do 2 weeks and that's $30,000. So what they end up doing a lot of times is they say 1 week per year, it's like you can have that ownership for $18,500. It's cheaper than a used car. Raise your hand if you follow the sales pitch there. And really, at the end of the day, if you go to arda.org, arda.org, and read third-party reporting, they do reporting. Ernst & Young, the tax accountants, they come in and audit and do kind of just third-party. They get commissioned to do satisfaction reports, monetary reports. It's a fascinating website if you're into travel like I am. But there's a 90% satisfaction rate in timeshare ownership. 90% of people are happy with these kind of prices because once you pay this off, they've bought cars that are $18,000 and they don't bring even a quarter, even a sniffle of the lifetime memory, the lifetime value in terms of emotional value, family value, romance value. There's a lot of values that are bigger to money than people. And usually the timeshare buyer family says, hey, we've only got our kids for so long, we're taking them on vacation. And guess what? Once they get old enough and we start having grandkids, all we're going to be paying is the annual dues, and they can come, and there's enough room in some of these condos to have grandkids come, and we're going to make a family culture, a vacation culture. Now I'm getting to how we get into GRN here. So raise your hand if you see kind of the whole pitch. And like I said, 90% reports satisfaction in this industry. And believe me, I've stayed at condos so much. We travel all the time, and once you stay at vacation condos like the Lawrence Welk Resort that my family, 2-bedroom unit, it was about 1,400 square feet. We went golfing, we went fishing right on property. The ocean was 30 minutes away. We spent a day on the beach. We came home to a living room. Shani prepared breakfasts for us. There was live entertainment, a magician that night we went to. We were treated like royalty. It was an absolute blast. Once you stay in those settings, your whole vision of vacationing gets revamped. Well, here's where things get a little interesting. So remember, let's just focus on the Wyndham Branson at the Meadows. We have over 5,000 resorts inside our membership that are with us contracted. But let's just take a look at one more thing. If you were to go at this Wyndham Branson at the Meadows, a 2-bedroom unit, which is a nice bedroom, it's a nice unit, May 20th to 27th, that's early, especially in Branson weather, that's pre-190,000 degrees with 2,000% humidity. I'm being a little exaggerating there, but this is prime summer, early summer, 2-bedroom unit. Expedia best price, $41,954. So what the salespeople at the Wyndham say is they say, listen, you can buy a week here for $18,500. Pay that off in 3 years. That's the typical timeshare loan is 3 to 5 years. Pay that thing off, pay your mortgage off, and then all you've got is your maintenance fees at $760 a year or so. And then look at everyone else who's not an owner has to show up and pay $4,100 or and some change, versus you'll only have to take care of your maintenance fees. And by the way, if you don't want to come back to Branson, go to Disney for a year. And if you don't want to do Disney, hit Hawaii. You want to go to Canada, do Canada. You want to do Ireland, do Ireland. Wyndham is an international network of condos. So raise your hand if you see how they sell the vacation membership. They say, listen, or the week of ownership. They say, you don't want to pay this $4,100. I mean, that's preposterous. So here's the gist of it. It's like the $18,500 for 1 week is almost like an initiation fee. It's an ownership fee, but it's like an initiation fee to get 1 week where you don't have to pay retail, which is $41, and you get to pay just maintenance fees, which are $729. So it's like the 18,000's initiation for 1 week. Again, I'm doing a lot of interaction, but just raise your hand if you get the pitch. That's the pitch. Initiation, 18,000, pay the mortgage off in 3 to 5 years, then all you're doing is paying maintenance fees and you're laughing. And this is how this goes. And these sell every day in the U.S. over $5 billion annual industry. And worldwide, it's significantly larger because this isn't counting Cancun. This isn't counting all the Canadian buyers. This isn't counting all the Mexican buyers. It isn't counting Brazil buyers. Just the U.S., $5 billion. So, Expedia, $4,100. Now, what Global Resorts does, let me get to the good stuff. What Global Resorts does is it doesn't have a $93,000 initiation fee so you can get 5 weeks. It doesn't have an $18,000. Oh, and by the way, over here we're talking about what was the annual maintenance on that? Not that one. If you bought the 5 weeks of usage per year, your annual maintenance is $36.60. That's per year. And once you pay this initiation fee for 5 weeks, you're locked into this escalating. Odds are that's only going to be going up. Okay, so you scale it down to 1 week, you're paying $729 for the year. You go the retail route, you're just getting ripped off, $4,100. You're not even going on vacation anymore. So here's what GRN does. GRN offers 10 weeks. 10 weeks. That's 2 times what the $93,000 offer was for 5 weeks, which included the $3,600 annual you will be paying. And this is for people who want to make vacationing an identity, a stamp in their history and their romance and their family and this and that. Well, what GRN does is it offers twice the weeks. Twice the weeks. And you would think it'd be maybe, I don't know, twice the cost, maybe half the cost, maybe $50,000 initiation, maybe a quarter of cost, maybe $25,000, maybe even just for 1 week we would charge the $18,000 initiation fee, and then we could get member pricing so we don't have to pay that. But here's the gist of it: member pricing. I gotta save it. Some of you don't know this, but here's Inspirato, okay? And what a destination club is. Global Resorts is a destination club. Inspirato is also a destination club that basically wants to circumvent timeshare. And they say, you know what? We don't want to saddle people with maintenance fees, and we just want to reinvent the thing so they're not doing a deeded purchase. They're doing an initiation fee, and then they maybe have annual dues, but it's not a deeded thing that can be levied with taxes and this and that and the other stuff. Inspirato, and it's a higher end kind of property, as you'll see their member rates in a second. But Inspirato has a $15,000 initiation fee. And once you pay that, then to keep it active and to maintain your investment at the initiation, you have annual fees of $2,500. So, This seems pretty low when you consider if you're going to get 80% off. What they say here is with the initiation fee, I don't know if you can see that okay, but you're going to get nightly rates at residences that are up to 80% off. After a couple of years, you're already at 20 grand into this, and that doesn't even count any nights you've spent, any nights you've paid. Let me show you what their initiation fee gets you in terms of just nights. Let's go to Cabo because we have a lot of comparable resorts in Cabo. And what their nightly rate, they're 90% off, 80%, 90% off. Well, they say 80%. Rates are, it's just pulling up real quick. It's grinding through. Everybody just hold tight. These are about twice the size. So let's be very clear here. These are twice the size of our condos. They're a little bit more homey. You see 3,100 square feet. We're usually in the 12 to 1,400 square feet. But if you take a look at the pricing, that's what I want to show you is the pricing. It disappeared just magically on me. But the pricing was 600. Oh man, I apologize everybody. I thought I showed you some pricing. Oh, you can see it now. You see the $679 per night? Raise your hand if you see that. $759 per night. These are usually 7 nights in a row. So their member pricing gets you down to this kind of stuff per night. Their initiation fee is $15,000. Their annual is $2,500. So let's get to GRN and the good stuff. So the GRN pricing for the initiation price, holy crap, I'm all over the place right now. The initiation price we have is $5,000. But now take a look at our savings off of retail, and that's for 10 weeks. If you look at this, and I got to blow it up a little bit, you see the Expedia best price guarantee, $4,100. Now you take over inside our membership, you will see the exact resort, the Wyndham Branson at the Meadows. And look at this kitchen. It's nice. It's like a little mini home. This is the exact prime dates, May 20th through May 27th. This is the exact unit, a 2-bedroom. This is 91% off Expedia's very best price. This is 1 week of usage. 1 week of usage inside GRN with an initiation fee of $5,000 gets you 50% cheaper off the person that paid $18,500 and has $700 plus maintenance fees. We are paying half off of what they paid for ownership to have one of our 10 weeks used. Raise your hand if you see how this is. I hate to be too excited about this, but I have no apologies. This is completely amazing. This is the reason why we don't have official numbers, but I believe we are the #1 destination club in the world. I can't quote that. I know what Inspirato, their numbers that they've sold, and I know that we match that. So they claim they're the #1. They're probably the #1 in more luxury. But the gist of it is for a $5,000 initiation fee, you get 10 weeks of premium usage per year. This is not some sketchy place. I mean, if you can see it, this is the kind, if you're looking over at the living room here, this is the kind of place that you want to wake up and have breakfast around here and chill out and maybe have your coffee and stuff overlooking the Branson. There's the lake out there. There's all sorts of stuff on the deck. Have a little retreat, have a little place to hang out, have a place to truly get away and relax for 7 days, and then have memories out of control. What Global Resorts does is it leads the way, without any, there is no competitor. Nobody can offer $398, 10 weeks of it, at a quality resort like the Wyndham Branson. Nobody can do this. This is what Global Resorts does. And we do it because we have a long-standing relationship with the timeshare resort since 1986. Our travel provider has been working relationships with these guys. Because we have so many members, we can tell the Wyndham, listen, we can fill you guys all the time. You don't have to, and the big mystery, first off, just raise your hand if that price, if just the puzzle is kind of coming together on this product. Because this is, and some of you guys are here to learn how you can make money selling this thing. I'm telling you, until you understand and have the sense of conviction and the sense of understanding of how much value is in this thing, it doesn't matter how much money I tell you you're going to make, because you're not going to make any if you don't see. Some people in home business, the biggest scam of home business is when people say the product doesn't matter. The product doesn't matter. What's the product? Oh, it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's about the money. Well, I will promise you this, the very foundation of wild success is a product. Let me give you an example. Our own sweet Debbie Turner, she's been in for 3+ years. She sold a membership to a couple in Canada. This couple goes to Mexico all the time with the GRN membership. All this couple's friends see their pictures of them going to Cabo and going to the Mayan Palace and doing all these things all the time. Well, this couple keeps on going and going, and then every now and then, not all the time, although they did do 2 of them, 2 platinum memberships just a few days ago. But every now and then this couple tells a friend, well, here's what I'm in. I'm in this thing called Global Resorts Network. The product alone is making them money. And then Debbie, because of our pay plan, Debbie is making passive money that is purely based on the product. 100% based on the product. These are just product buyers. And daily, we have more and more and more product buyers. These are $2,000 per sale commissions that roll up to you. Let me just explain the pay plan for one. Well, first off, raise your hand if you get how important that product is now. That's the only thing that'll allow you to scale the big money. Because here's the thing. The let's make money at home niche, make money at home. Okay, this niche is, this is a $20 to $50 million, I don't know, it's probably a $50 million per year niche, just total. So there's people that are flooding online. You know what? When you add online marketing, it is probably more than that. I'm going to lie. It's probably 100 million. But in specific, we did some crunching of numbers last year and came up with 50. But if you add make money online from your house and all that industry, you're basically confining the product and the opportunity to about $100 million worth of market. When you take a product that can bust out of the seams of this little fishbowl of an industry and enter so that the Canadian couple can go to Mexico, post pictures to Facebook, and then people go, hey, what's going on? And they say, oh, have you seen this product over here? And then they go, wow, we love that product. Let's buy it. And then $2,000 goes up to you. Every time you have a teammate, and there's a couple little qualification wrinkles in here, but you have a teammate that makes a sale, you make $2,000. Raise your hand if that is not just one of the most beautiful concepts. That's what's made me millions of dollars. It's what's changed my life. It's what put me from literally starting with a $250 used computer on my kitchen table, qualifying for welfare with a pregnant wife, and me having no idea what to do. And it has put me into WeVacation. I could show slides and bore you with my own slides all day long. But WeVacation non-stop now. It has completely changed our life. In fact, let me just be a dork for just a second here. This right here is a recent trip that we went to Hawaii on, and this is right outside our Wyndham right here. This was a hike we went to called the Secret Beach, and the Hidden Beach. It was a 2-mile hike to get to. Shani and I it was so fun. It's just ridiculous fun. And the best part of it is we stayed at a Marriott. That's a 4-star Marriott that on Expedia was $4,500, and I paid $799. And to own there cost as much as $36,000 for a single week, plus $750 in maintenance fees. And this was just one of the weeks I used. One. I have 10 per year. Oh my gosh, this membership, $49.95, $4,995. As a distributor, you make $2,000 every time you refer somebody to this membership. We have friends tell friends. We have people who join, and I'm not giving any income guarantees, but we have people who join who just share the concept. Here's the deal. You can basically, it's like you have, literally, It's like you own, gosh, I really want to be a dork now and show you all these cool Hawaii pictures. And we were staying right next to Disney, and we'd go have breakfast over at Disney, and they had the little Mickey waffles. Couples report 40% more intimate encounters on vacation than they do at home. Productivity things show that a month leading up to vacation, I don't know how they quantified it, but they said you're so much more productive, and when you return, you have so much more perspective that you're a more efficient worker. These are the grounds outside of the Wyndham. There was some coral basically to prevent waves coming in, so we had a perfectly still beach. We'd spend a couple nights out there. There was a restaurant. I mean, it was unbelievable. But when you're a GRN member, what you get is basically, it's like, here's just America. This is just America. There's Hawaii. The typical person in timeshare, like the 5 weeks that I showed you for $93,000, and then they get to pay $3,600 a year to use it. They got to pay off that mortgage in 3 to 5 years. Some people cash out because instead of buying a vacation home, they buy 5 weeks of condo. But when you own GRN, you have your eyes. You want to spend a week in California like we did last year over spring break. You got a little condo sitting there waiting for you, and you're going to save up to 91%. Now, I haven't seen above 91%, but 91 I've seen many times, 90 to 90%. We usually beat Expedia by 50 to 75%. But you've got a condo sitting here, hanging out, waiting for you, right on the golf course. You want to go down, watch the whales? You've got right in the Mayan Palace, the Grand Mayan, the Sea of Cortez. We have the Grand Mayans right there. They're just waiting for you. Disney right now, Nancy and Sean Power. I talked to them. They're at the Wyndham Cypress Palms. 7 weeks was going for $121,000. The Nancy and Sean Power have already traveled 10 weeks in their first year with GRN. They're staying right now at that Wyndham, which rents out for as much as $5,200 for a single week. Nancy and Sean are there for about $500. You want to go hike the Mayan pyramids in Cancun? It's like you have, literally, the world becomes your oyster. I have no question about it. The Global Resorts purchase that I did, I put it on a 22% visa. It had a little bit of pain for me to purchase it, but I will say unequivocally, and this includes cars that I've bought, it includes homes. I've bought a couple homes now. It includes computers. It includes every purchase I've ever made. No single transaction has ever had the power of memory and just creating memories and excitement and romance and being a family enhancer both for my wife and I plus the kids, their perspective of the world. And by far, as an affiliate, I can't even begin to describe for you what it feels like, especially when I know that right now I can make $2,000 when someone watches a video. They watch a video. Today I got an email. I've never met this individual. I'm sure excited he joined. Never met him. Sent an email, joined, watched some video, and all of a sudden you can make $2,000. That you send someone to a webinar like this, you spend 15 to 20 minutes with them answering their questions, showing them how maybe they can grow the business. You make $2,000. Raise your hand if that isn't at some point kind of exciting. I had a teammate last night who was saying, there's this lady, she's really looking at joining. She's really excited about joining. And here was her hang-up. The hang-up was she works a full-time job, and then she works 2 side jobs. And here's what I said. And she loves to travel, and she wants to travel. And she's got 2 kids that she doesn't spend much time with, and they have the money. You know what her hang-up was? Her hang-up is, well, when will I find a time to build this business? Guess how I responded to him to respond to her. I said, at one of these side jobs, so you got your full-time job, and then you're doing a side job, how many hours on a side job does it take you to make $2,000? How many hours is that? I mean, never mind hours, even if you were working full time at a side job type money, you're probably working 2 months of time is going by before you make $2,000 on a side job. I don't know what she was making. If I was talking to her, I would have drilled her on some of this stuff. And I'm saying you're sitting there swapping away your time that you could be in the biggest industry in the world, which is, oh gosh. Okay, here's the thing. Never in the history of mankind has it been easier to become wealthy. Never. There's this new thing out there called the internet. It's the World Wide Web. And you can sit here and you can be like I started off in this little podunk town of 350 people in North Dakota and make more money than people that move to the coasts to make the big East Coast money or the big West Coast money. I'm sitting there in my little 350 person town making money from all over the world because of this thing called the World Wide Web. It has no geographical limitation. See, in the past, what would happen? If this is America in the past, and you've got to see, the future is here, my friends. It just hasn't been widely distributed yet. I stole that from some great philosophical comment. But the future's here. It's here now, and here's what it used to be. What used to happen was you'd buy a home, the home would appreciate in value. That's just how it was. So if you lost your job, so let's say you lose your job, what do? You sell your home at a gain, and then you just move over to Texas where it's, where you can buy another house that's up. Well, here's what's happened by and large is people have bought their homes, and instead of going up, those homes are down, or they're plateaued, or they're down. And you know what? They don't have a great, awesome paying job down the road, and they can't really move to a hot spot that's booming because they can't leave their house. So where are they going? Where are they relocating? There's this place called the cloud. This cloud, not the iMac cloud, but the web. The web is this thing that's a virtual, non-geographical destination that thousands upon thousands of people, minute by minute, are looking at how to make money on. Minute by minute, they're looking for a product to market, something that's legit, something that has profit margin for them. Every minute, I guarantee you, minute by minute, people are Googling, they're surfing on ads, they're watching videos, just like some of you are actually doing right now, and they're saying, how do I make the money? And here's the problem. Most products, the value of a product, and follow me now, this is the good stuff. The value of a product, okay, this is the value matrix, and this is very important if you're looking at purchasing Global Resorts as a product, and especially if you're looking at purchasing Global Resorts as just as a user or as an affiliate, if you're looking to really make it as an affiliate. How you can charge money, the value is pretty much this. What's the cost of creation? This is one of the metrics. What's the cost of creation? And then the next metric is what's the emotional index? There's like an index. What's the passion? We'll call it the passion index. What's the passion index of the emotional payoff? Let me give you an example. Bose wavelength radios. We have them in our house. I love them. They cost, they probably cost $50 to create. The engineers in the background who created the Bose Wave, they probably have some of the best soundticians or whatever you call those guys. And they pay those guys well. And it costs some money to create that. And the passion index is I like hearing music and I'm willing to pay more than a Walmart price so I can hear my music better and more full. Raise your hand if you're kind of seeing how this little equation can equal higher prices. Okay, that's how you pay the higher price at the end of the day. It's cost of creation and emotional passion index, emotional payoff. Here's where Global Resorts gets a little funky. This is where things get a little crazy. The cost of creation of what our membership actually leads to, what does it lead to? Send me in the question areas. What does our membership lead to? What is the end deliverable of our memberships? What is it? Where is it? What is it? You take that Marriott in the Ko-Olina right here in Hawaii, in front of that beachfront developed premium condos in Hawaii, on the best mountains of the world, right by Steamboat Springs and their great mountain, right on all the oceans, and right on the oceans, right next to Disney. The cost of creation of where our product ends up in people's hands, where they actually fulfill that product, is probably some of the most expensive created thing you can think of, which is purchased real estate, developed real estate on premium land. Raise your hand if you get that. What we have with Global Resorts, even though we're not selling a deed, we're not selling ownership on these exact premium locations, our end result is developed, current real estate development on the best places on planet Earth. So what happens when it comes to value is the cost of creation of where we end up is, especially, and then you take the selection, resorts in Colorado, resorts in Florida, all over the coasts, Branson, the 2-bedroom condo in Branson, 10 weeks of usage of those premium weeks, Hawaii, California, not to mention Mexico, not to mention Europe, not to mention Australia and the rest of the world with our 5,000 networks. The cost of our creation is in the mega billions, literally billions, of where our product, the fulfillment of our product. Then what you do is you take the passion index. 9 out of 10 people. You have all the money and you have all the time. What do you want to do now? What do you want to do? You have all the money you want. Money's no longer an objective. Time is no longer an issue. What do you want to do? What do people say? 9 out of 10. They want to go live the adventures they dreamed of. They want to, like I said, hike the pyramids. They want to play St. Andrews in Ireland, the 600-year-old first golf course in history. It's still active. Tiger's been on it. We had I was just looking. We have condos that are an hour-and-a-half drive right to St. Andrews, and I can play and walk across the famous bridge that Jack Nicholson walked across, that Tiger walks across. I can go play those. All over the world, the passion index for travel, there's a reason it is the largest industry in the entire planet. And the reason, some people would say, well, computers are higher. Well, no, because in undeveloped countries, you take not super undeveloped, but you take Belize, you take all the Caribbean, the entire makeup of the Caribbean. Tourism is what funds all those islands. So almost any place pretty is quickly commercialized into a tourist trap, and they don't have a ton of computers and iPhones and all this crap out there. They barely even have good service. So the gist of it is, what we have is the most highest passion index in the world. So you take Global Resorts Network, and then you go ahead and compare it. Go ahead and compare it to the alternative, which is timeshare ownership. Or go ahead and pay retail. Go ahead and pay 10 weeks of Expedia's best price. See how that feels. $4,200 or $4,100. We get it for $398. Raise your hand if you're seeing how this puzzle goes together. This is how you, as a member of the product, can really feel like you're hacking into an underbelly, to an underground secret society of travel. Literally, you will feel so special when you're at the beach, knowing that these other people paid $30,000 to own there, and you paid $400, or you're there for $500 with no commitments. All the benefits, no commitments. You're basically hacking into all their maintenance fees that are paying for the grounds. You're paying less than what they pay in maintenance fees per year to travel to any of these resorts. It is the most stellar combination. So what happens is, when you take Global's cost of creation of our end result, which is people on the best real estate, and then you take the passion index, which is people's right up there with the favorite thing they can do on planet Earth: get away, escape, create memories, romance, family bonding. I took my son to Puerto Vallarta, swam with dolphins. I took him out deep sea fishing. Just my son, just to get away. Why? Because it was so cheap. It's not that I saved $3,000 over Expedia. I would have never went without this membership. This membership opens up vistas of potential. As you get older, maybe you retire, 10 weeks a year of travel, you can go crazy. In fact, what Global Resorts has is we have an instant bookings category that allows for another 42 weeks of usage. What it does is it has a little bit less inventory, and it usually costs $100 to $200 more per week. That's if you burn through the 10 weeks. So we have so much available for you as a user. And then as an opportunity, with you right here, you make your first sale, you make $1,000. Your second sale, you make $2,000. Your third, you're making $2,000. Your fourth, you're making another $2,000. Every sale you make after that first $1,000, you make $1,000 that first sale. You're making $2,000 for as long as the world is wide. You go crazy. Initially, the Global Resorts pay plan was only going to allow 15 across, and then you're going to have to start putting people underneath, because we thought, what happens with our match is, let's say the third person you brought in made a sale. This is called your qualifying sale. You don't make money on the first sale in your second level. So what happens is because it's their first sale, they make $1,000. It qualifies your level, so you don't make anything. Person above you, call him Bob. Above Bob is Sue. What happens is they make $1,000 their first sale. You don't make anything. Bob makes $1,000. Sue, she makes $2,000. She's sitting up there multi-levels. Now, here's what's cool, though. After that first person makes their sale, let's say the first person you brought in goes crazy. Well, let's just not even say they went crazy. Let's just say they're like Debbie's Canadian family that just travels all the time, post pictures on Facebook. People say, hey, we like it. And they just do a sale here or there over the next, 10 years. They just do sales now and then. They don't do a ton of them. They just do sales. The first one, they make $1,000. You make $1,000. Bob makes $2,000. Not a bad deal for Bob so far, huh? Then after that sale, every time they make a sale, they make $2,000. And guess what you make? You make $2,000. Every single sale they make. So they go off, just like Debbie, like I said about Debbie's Canadian family, and they just make sales sporadically over the course of years. There you go. You're building an asset. It's not just your own sales. If you build a team, this stuff is truly viral. The essence of why this is so powerful is it's a really legitimately viral product, where what happens is if you sell it to this person, all of a sudden they take their family to the Wyndham in Branson, and they see the kids at the lake, and they see the family golf coursing, and they take some pictures in the condo, and they put them on Facebook, and all their little friends start jibber-jabbering. Well, gee, you guys went to there, and then you took them to Disney too? I mean, you guys get a raise? No, we pay $400, and the rest of the world either buys a timeshare for $20,000, or the rest of the world pays $4,000 on Expedia. We hacked the system. Well, what did you do? Watch this video. Another $2,000. They make $2,000. You make $2,000. Raise your hand if you just see this a little bit. This is all you've got to see. This is what you've got to get deep in your bones, my friends. This product, and it's all based on the product. The other little secret about GRN that people just, you need to know this. In typical MLM, what happens, let's say it's shampoo. Let's say shampoo, soap, detergent. If you're in these companies, no big deal. I'm in them too. It doesn't matter. Nutritionals, goops of whatever kind, juices, whatever. Here's what happens in typical MLM, whatever. You've got retail pricing. So you go to Kohl's and get something comparable, okay? Just comparable. I will say that MLM has the best. I believe MLM does have the best cleaners. I believe we have the best nutritionals. I believe we have the best soap and shampoo. I believe in those things. But you go to retail and you pay this, and then you go to MLM and you pay this. The markup. There's this significant markup, which makes it tricky for it to truly go viral. Unless you start saying, hey, well, did you know you can make some money and you can make a residual income? And come on, and you start badgering people. Raise your hand if I'm painting an accurate picture of what MLM looks like and what it feels like. It feels like this. But now, here's where GRN is completely different. you'd go against GRN, retail, timeshare. You want to go 5 weeks, $93,000 of usage, fine. You want to do 1 week, these aren't to scale, 20,000. Fine. You want to do 1 week on retail and pay 4,000? Fine, do it for one trip. As a GRN member, once you blast the initiation fee, $49.95, instead of a $93,000 initiation, similar concept, is you stay at those resorts for this much. It is retail's over here, initiation fee wise or usage wise, and then our initiation fee is this, and our weekly rates are this. We are a complete opposite of what is normal. This is how we are viral. This is how there's a sense of irresistibility on this thing. Just today, I sent a friend who has a household income of about $90,000, and I sent him this week, and I said, bro, literally, and I'm not a big solicitor to friends and family to join my business and stuff, but I said, listen, you guys never get out of they're North Dakotans. I said, you guys never get out of the state because you can't afford it. I mean, Branson is like a 12-hour drive, so you spend a night in the hotel, you get there. Your kids would have a riot. You got to get them out of the nest a little bit. And I know he can afford $5K, and I know he knows people. His parents, he's about my age, but a lot of our parents own these timeshare weeks, and they've spent $12,000 to $15,000 on timeshare weeks, and they get 3 or 4 weeks a year, and then they have these maintenance fees that they all complain about, but then they love their vacations anyway. Well, I'm telling them, listen, here's what our generation does. Our generation pays way less, and we get way more, way cheaper. But I sent him this. I said, you kids would have the time of their life. School gets out right before then. You could go crazy. Your kids would never ever forget it. See, it's that kind of impulse and compulsion that this membership can create. And so with the pay plan, I've reviewed it a little bit. But if you're a guest here, and again, I'm not calling you out or anything, but if you're here looking at Global Resorts and you really like what you see right now, just raise your hand so I can kind of get an idea. It'll just help me kind of gauge how the guests are thinking. If you're like, yeah, this is pretty freaking sweet. It's sweet on several levels. For me, by far, what I wanted to do, literally when I saw Global Resorts Network, first thing I did was dry heaved. I almost threw up, and here's why. I was selling a different travel club, and it just absolutely was a joke compared to GRN. So I was like, okay, this blows. I cannot sell this anymore because this product is so much better. I've got to sell this GRN product. So after I dry heaved, I knew I was going to become wealthy. And I knew I was going to become wealthy because I had a product that would allow me in my mind. See, I always wanted, I don't even know how the idea got into me, but by the time, when I was 12 years old, I remember thinking, seeing my parents go off to work and come, I just remember thinking, I want to work out of my own house. Wouldn't it be cool and not have a job? I don't even know if I knew home business existed. I just wanted out. I wanted out of the system. I did not like the system. I did not appreciate. I wanted out. So when I was young, I bought an infomercial. That's where it was, my friends. I bought an infomercial. I bought Don Lapre, rest in peace, Don. I bought Don Lapre's, or my brother bought Don Lapre's info product. And also, I bought a little thing on product liquidation. It was $300 on an infomercial at how you can call warehouses and find old goods and buy them cheap, and then call a different warehouse and say, hey, I've got all these. The one that I found was they had medical aprons. And he said they were about $50 a piece, but I could get them for like $5 a piece. But I had to buy like 1,000 of them, and I'm 14 years old. Well, anyway, so This is what I was like. I have got to work at home. I was desperate. I literally took my dad's credit card out middle of the night. I paid him back later, but I just snuck the thing, called the 800 number. They took the little boy's voice ordering over the phone. What a scam. Anyway, here's my point. I always wanted to break out of the system more than anything. Oh my gosh. And I worked at a factory, and like I said, we qualified for welfare. We lived in 3 or 4 different mobile homes, and here's what happened. I found out about GRN, and I saw a product that was so different than this product liquidation deal or these vitamin deals, or just, it was so different because it was so much value. It tipped the scales where typical MLM is, it's a bunch of money. Retail, MLM price way up here, retail price way down here. And I saw with GRN price right here, retail price way up here. And I knew I had a winner. And I went off, and I'm not giving income claims, but I went off. In my first month, I made $5,000. My second month, I made 10. My third month, I made 20. My fourth month, I made 40. Then I made 60. And I will tell you, my life, on a daily basis, I pinch myself when I see how many sales get made because of the viral nature of this product, because of this equation. GRN price is here, and the retail price is here. But then even deeper than that, you look at our pay plan. Go ahead and look at other pay plans and try to match a product that has the like I said, retail here, GRN here. But then go ahead, and what happens with pay plans, you make $100 when someone signs up, you make $500, you make $30, then you take GRN. Okay, you make $2,000 when someone joins. That's not bad. This is change your life money. This is 2 or 3 of these a month, and some of you will never have to work again. And then you take the passive income, and instead of having to have the whole town or the whole state of Texas in my downline, I can have 3 teammates make a sale in a week. 3 teammates, 1 sale each. That's $6,000 passively. I make $2,000 a sale passively. This is called leverage. This is called change your life money. So what happened when I looked at the product and the equation there and the pay plan in the equation, I said, this is just everything I ever wanted. Because I really wanted to travel. When I was a kid, I saw Crocodile Dundee. I wanted to go to Australia. I saw King Kong. I wanted to go to Hawaii. I saw Miami Vice. I wanted to go to Florida. I saw Disneyland. I wanted to go to California. Global Resorts has allowed me to go to all those places, dirt cheap, totally hacking into the system with, like I said, and there are so many examples that I could show that are just like this, where retail is $4,100 and we're paying $398. Just hacking the system to death. People are paying $19. Someone today bought a week of timeshare for $15,000 plus, and they're going to have maintenance fees of $700. I guarantee you that they would look in the mirror and weep right now if they got to see what you got to see. If they were seeing what you saw right now. In fact, we had somebody come back from vacation, and again, don't quote me on the exact numbers, but again, this is just the viral nature of GRN. Guy comes back from a vacation, I think it was in Mexico, and he bought about 10 weeks of timeshare for like 60 or 70 grand. Don't quote me on what it was because my memory's fading, but it was like 50 to 60 or 60 to 70 grand for 10 weeks of timeshare that he bought on this vacation. He shows up back home, and his friend bought GRN, but wasn't like building GRN, wasn't growing it, wasn't doing much of anything with it. And the friend was like, hey, if you can get out of that, we can get you GRN that has 10 premium weeks that will cost less than your maintenance fees to stay at. Plus, you can use, if you want to use more than 10 weeks, you can use 42 more weeks in the instant booking areas. That'll still be cheaper than probably your maintenance fees. The guy was able to refund the $60,000, $70,000, and he said GRN saved me $60,000. And the guy made money. The affiliate made money. And guess what? His upline sitting there doing nothing, eating cookies, made passive 4-figure check as well. This is the stuff of excitement. It's the mechanics of wealth. I want you to get back to the person who invited you here. And like I said, today, my total payout, I believe Global Resorts Network purchasing it is it's not just more feasible. Never mind. It's just a better deal than this $93,000 buy. That's my opinion. $5,000, I believe, is truly a better lifestyle decision with more availability, more flexibility, more action than even the Wyndham Network has, because we're beyond Wyndham. We have the RCI feed, we have the Wyndham feed, we also have San Francisco Exchange, and we have other timeshare resorts that are outside of RCI even that are active in our membership, giving us deals. Plus, even bigger than that, we have our member-to-member option, which is where you get some of the best deals, up to 20%. Sometimes, I don't know, the number keeps growing, I think, but 20% plus of our buyers already own timeshares. So they've got these timeshare weeks, and what happens is instead of going to buyatimeshare.com or listing them on some website and having a $500 to $700 listing fee for 6 months where they have to jack the price and they're trying to get their maintenance fees back at $750, and so all of a sudden the rental's $1,500. Instead of that, as a member inside GRN, there's no listing fee. So you get to list your weeks to members, but you can only charge between $398 and $799 max if it's a premium resort. Most of them rent around $545 or so. But there's no $500 or $600 fee, so what happens is that you get access to a lot of these owner member properties where they're the owners. My Marriott trip for $799, that was an owner to a member deal. That member bought GRN because they love the value of it, but they also own timeshare with Marriott, and they listed it without having to spend that $500 to $700 of risk. You're not guaranteed anybody's going to rent it if you put it on these sites. So they're able to list it among active members. Raise your hand if you see how robust this membership is. I mean, the pool of resorts is just, it's enormous. It's, I believe, literally, like I said, greatest purchase, greatest financial transaction I've ever made. Ever. $4,995. Get back to the person that invited you to this video, to this webinar. Get your final questions answered. Like I said, we have people that make sales their very first day. We have people that make sales their very first week. We have people that quit their jobs, retire their husbands, retire their wives, never, ever have to go to work for somebody again. I mean, this is the opportunity, I believe. I'm going to close on this thing. I'm pretty hyper tonight. I only meant to do this 30 minutes, but I just got on. Raise your hand if you've gotten some value tonight. I've gone overtime, but I really felt like I had to. I'm feeling compelled, my friends. Here's the thing. What you've got is you've got a perfect storm of the product. So you've got the retail prices and you've got the GRN price. So you've got the product thing down. Remember, the matrix is the creation of the product, which we have. It's not real estate. You are not buying a deed, but our end product is the best developed real estate in the best real estate areas. I mean, the cost of creation is unbelievable. You've got the passion index. The passion index on travel is through the roof. As an affiliate, can you demonstrate this product, or can you not demonstrate it? How easy is it to demonstrate in your own personal life? Go on vacation. That's easy to demonstrate. It's easy to show, here's what Expedia is charging. Here's what we're charging. It's super demonstratable. Then you go ahead and you add $2,000 commissions, $2,000 passive commissions. Then on top of all that, you add the internet marketing age. We are in the age of internet marketing. We're also in the age of trust marketing, which means this. A lot of people would prefer to buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And the facts are in. We're seeing more and more friend and family and associates, and we're not saying you've got to do the friends and family thing, but you'll feel compelled to when you see your buddy. I just had a friend buy outside of Disney. He spent 15 grand on a timeshare for 1 week a year at $15,000 because I just didn't tell him. So now I'm like, I got to start telling people. I got to tell people I know. Never mind the internet people. They're great. I love them. That's how I fund my thing. But what I'm saying is, with the internet thing, with the friends and family, do you know people who travel? Do they go to Cancun? I mean, what do they do? Do they travel? Do they go skiing? If you're in that area of social ladder, I mean, this could be a absolute boon right off the bat with very little marketing. Now, here's my final little, is this for you? Here's the big, is this for me? Not as a, never mind the product. I'll tell you, if you would like to travel at all, if you want to travel, if you yearn to travel, take a look. It's like you have little mini homes all over the world. So get it on that. But some of you are saying, well, can I do that? Can I do it? Can I market this thing? Can I do it? Well, here's a couple just intangibles, whether I think you have the personality or not. This is just my food for thought. And remember, personalities are very transformable. So here's the thing. When you go to a movie and you love it, are you the type of person who, now, and again, I'm not saying you're going to market this to friends and family. This is just an internal thing. If you go to a movie and absolutely love it, do you share you've got to see this movie with your friends and family? And then do they actually go based on your recommendation? That would be a sign that you are something that we call a maven. You're a teller. You're an evangelist. If you get a really great deal, you just get a great deal on frickin', I don't even know, tacos or something. And do you tell people innately, are you comfortable with telling people that there's an unbelievable deal going on at Macy's? Do you tell your girlfriends that? You wouldn't believe what you can pick up the bedding at Macy's right now. It's an absolute steal. And then do they go do it? Now, here's why I'm doing this. Because some people don't have, and it's okay, right now, they don't currently have that in them. They're not native tellers. Raise your hand if I'm explaining this okay. Some people just aren't native tellers. It's no big deal. If you're not a native teller, it's not a moral thing. It's just you're not a native teller. See, for me, if I see a good movie, I tell my friends and then they go see it. That's kind of how it is. If I buy a great backpack, like I just bought this great backpack, I told Falcone went and got it. Falcone told Higdon went and got it. Now this backpack is starting to circulate. It's unbelievable. It carries the Mac computer. And when it comes to Mac computers, I brag about Mac computers and my friends get them. So the question is, do you have the native personality to do this? Are you a teller? Do you read a great book and you want to share the book, and then people actually give a crap what you say and they buy the book? Raise your hand if I'm being clear about just the native, can you do this? Because that at a core spot, that's the kind of person that does really, really well. Now, if that's not you, if you want to be that person, you can learn those skills. I recommend you read Think and Grow Rich. I recommend you got to take personal development very seriously if that's not you to do well in this. I'm just being honest. So here's the gist of it. If you're looking at this, the $2,000 commissions look good, the product look good. What are you going to do? What's the alternative? Are you going to wait? Why would you wait? Why would you wait? That would be crazy. Had I waited to a good time, I still wouldn't be in. It's never a good time. But you could be on a trip in the next month. You could make your first sale next week. I mean, it's powerful. Get back to the person that invited you here. My name is Mark Hoverson. It has been an honor to spend this time with you. Now let's get busy. See you guys.